station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by WorkSimple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
We begin on the tracks, rails stretching beyond the horizon. Each tie a memory, each rail a promise of where we might go. In the early years, our first logo appeared, a pioneer stepping onto the platform of possibility. Through seasons of growth, change, and challenge, we moved forward. The whistle of opportunity sounded, and we boarded the train of time. The view changed with every mile, some stations brief, others lasting. Our logos changed too, not just emblems, but mile markers of evolution. Along the way, seats filled with teammates, mentors, veterans, and friends. Some stayed for the ride, others stepped off, leaving their legacy on the rails behind us. And still, the journey continues. The tracks ahead stretch into the unknown, familiar yet full of new promise. What matters most is how we travel, with purpose, with grit, with heart. Because the journey matters, the movement matters, and the legacy of those logos, every year, every show, lives on in the rhythm of these rails. So here we are once again, all aboard. The whistle blows, the tracks call. Together we ride. We are the H-Train Show, showing veterans programs beyond the VA since 2015. H is in the building now.
Let's go! Are you ready for the H-Train Show?
It's coming live.
I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet! Woo! Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent death. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest with freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. My fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat the race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand, yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hand. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slopes, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we scream it proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah, yeah. Keep rising.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by WorkSimple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Red Friday, 29th of May. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a fabulous show planned for you today. I don't know where Caesar is. Caesar's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be my co-host. I'm waiting for you, buddy. I'm waiting for you. But Caesar's my co-host.
Didn't he say he was going to just go meet his buddy Brutus before?
I don't know. But I'm going to talk crap because I told him, hey, he wants to, he wanted to sit in. So I'm like, all right, we'll sit in. I'm just giving him crap. I'm sure something came up. He'll be here momentarily. But hey, we have a fantastic show for you. And if you didn't know, since 2015, the H Train Show has been providing veterans with information that goes beyond the VA. And right now, MBR is doing pretty good, man. We've got 45 active radio shows going on. So that means that when somebody calls in and they want to be on the show, not only will they be on our show, but they have that opportunity to be on 45 other shows. What happens if your business or your company or your organization is on 45 different shows? That's 45 different niches, right? That means that you've got 45 different shows promoting what your mission is right now. And that's like right in your face, bow. So if you get a note from us, be sure to take advantage. Come on the show, talk about what's going on, what your mission is and stuff like that. Hey, I tell you what, we got top 3 stories for today real quick. And then we're going to go into the soldier spot. Well, you know what? Let's go into the soldier spotlight right now. Go ahead and cue that music.
Attention, mail call.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Welcome to Mail Call, your soldier spotlight, powered by Work Simple, highlighting those who serve and inspire.
All right. Now, so when there's a picture up there. I'm trying to retweet us on Twitter so that everybody knows what's going on. We're kind of a skeleton crew over here. So I want to show this picture. This is the picture that I want to show. And today we're highlighting a story that reminds us military service isn't about the person wearing the uniform. It's about the entire family. Imagine spending months apart from a person you love. Imagine missing birthdays, holidays, special occasions, and all those little moments most people take for granted. That's exactly what Brian and Tristan Edelman have been experiencing. Brian Edelman recently graduated from nursing program at Spoon River College in Illinois. Like any graduate, she was excited, nervous, and proud of the accomplishment. She had worked so hard to achieve, but there was one thing missing: her husband, Tristan. Or at least that's what she thought. Tristan serves in the United States Army with the 969th Movement Control Team. Since February, he's been away in Texas supporting military operations and training like many military families. Brian has learned to keep moving forward while her husband fulfilled his duties. Military spouses know the drill. Life doesn't stop because your loved one is serving. Bills still need to be paid. Children still need to be cared for. School still has to be finished. Goals still have to be reached. And Brian, well, he did exactly that. She focused on her education and completed her nursing degree despite the challenge that comes with having a spouse away on military duty. When graduation day arrived on May 14th, she walked into the ceremony believing her husband was still 100 miles away in Texas. What she didn't know is that Tristan had been quietly planning something special. Working behind the scenes with school staff, he arranged to be hidden from the view during the ceremony. Then came that moment Brian's name is called. She walked towards the receiver diploma, and suddenly standing there was her husband, not in Texas, not on a video call, not watching online, standing right beside her. The look of shock quickly turned into tears, smiles, and overwhelming emotion. The crowd erupted. Family members cheered, and for a few minutes, everybody in attendance got a glimpse into that military family sacrifice every day. You see, we often thank the service members, and we should. But military spouses serve too. They carry an extra responsibilities. They endure lonely nights. They celebrate milestones along, and they continue pushing forward while supporting someone else's mission. Brian's graduation represents more than earning a degree. It represents resilience, determination, and strength of military families everywhere. Meanwhile, Tristan's surprise reminds us that even in the middle of military obligations, family remains a priority. Stories like this don't make national news every day. There's no political debate, no controversy, no breaking news sticker, just two people who love each other, and a reminder that behind every uniform is a family making sacrifices. To discussion, question, what do you think is the most overlooked sacrifice made by military spouses and families? And how can communities better support them with what they're going through? So that's our military spotlight. And so many times, and it kind of rings into our dialogue for Drop the Mic and continuous. But so many times we just assume things, and instead of assuming things, we need to communicate, and we need to make sure that military spouses, the kids, let's thank them for their service, because military families, that's one thing that gets overlooked a lot. And I don't know, if I was married to somebody that was, let's say I was married to somebody that was a firefighter, police officer, and like I never got thanked for my service, she only got thanked for my service. I mean, I don't mind it too much, but there's got to be some people out there that kind of get jealous about that, or like they're tired of hearing it. You know what I mean, HG?
Yeah.
I mean, so let's think about that. Let's make sure that we don't forget our military families and their sacrifice. So that's our military spotlight of the thing. Before we go on break, I will tell you that the top 3 stories that we have today is the Russian drone strike in Romania. I guess what happened, why is NATO concerned, Roman's response, impact on the European security decision. There's so many questions to ask, but that's the first story. So just letting you know that's happening in Russia. Also, the veterans. There was a where is it? Let's see. I'm trying to find the. Okay, so the Iran peace progress. That's going on right now, and the Australian. Where is it? Gosh, I can't read my own writing. Adaptive number 3 story is adaptive sports funding is restored. Australia restores veteran rehabilitation funding. Benefits of adaptive sports programs could similar investments help American veterans. I guess what role did sports and recreation play in your recovery or your transition? And of course, at 11 a.m., we'll have our interview of the week, or probably not the interview of the week because we haven't got a confirmation yet, but we might be doing a dialogue for Drop the Mic, because Father's Day. If you don't know, Father's Day is June 21st. So put that on the calendar. Make sure
be here before you know it.
Yep, right. Make sure you get him something, and you don't have to spend money on the father. Just like a poem or words or something, or even a little picture. Man, I tell you what, that melts our hearts faster than anything you could buy. Let me tell you. with that being said, we are going to go on our first break. I tell you what, I'll pick the break and you can key the music. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're gonna go on a first break, and you know, I played a song. I sang a song for Memorial Day, and you know, some of it got cut off, some of it didn't. I think this one that I'm getting ready to play, it cut off a little bit, but you know, you can still get it off of Spotify or iTunes. It only cut off like 7 seconds. I'm not going to worry about downloading it for that. So, but hey, when we come back from our break, we're going to be running into the What the segment. And we got a discussion on that too. Anything that I asked during this program, make sure you comment and let us know in the comments. And we'll revisit that. So whatever you do, stay with us. You're listening to the H Train Show, where since 2015 we've shown veterans and all men and women in uniform all over the world. And there are more programs out there beyond the VA on the station that's letting our veterans be heard and beyond.
They thank me for my service. They shake my hand and smile. They say you made it home now, but they don't see the miles, and they don't hear the silence when the world goes to sleep, or see the ghost beside me in the memories I keep. I still see dusty highways, hear the rotor blades above, still see the folded flag handed to the ones they loved. And every single Memorial Day feels like I'm there again, standing in the middle of goodbye, losing brothers, losing friends. 'Cause I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole, but every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. For some it's just a holiday, a barbecue a day away, but for those who wore the uniform, the hurt never fades away. It's birthdays they'll never celebrate, kids growing up without their dad, mothers holding pictures close, trying not to break too bad. And I asked God why I made it, why my sea was still filled, why I got another sunrise while my brothers never will. There ain't a medal for the guilt, no parade can heal the pain. You just learn to keep on breathing while it pours like endless rain. I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole, but every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. If you see me staring quiet, please don't think I don't care. I'm just talking to the memories of the ones no longer there. And every laugh, every freedom, every flag that waves today was paid for by the broken hearts of the ones who couldn't stay. No, I never really came back home, though my boots touch American soil. Part of me stayed on that battlefield, in the smoke and fear and turmoil. So this Memorial Day, remember, freedom came with heavy cost.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass. Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, climb aboard the H-Train show on Military Broadcast Radio. Since 2015, we've helped veterans discover fresh opportunities, nonprofits, and resources beyond the VA. All aboard.
Are you ready for the H-Train show?
It's coming live this Friday at 10 a.m. EST.
All right, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the H-Train show right here on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're letting our voices be heard. We're showing veterans all the programs out there beyond the VA, not only programs but resources. And I'll tell you what, if you're a veteran and you don't really care for the show, that's cool. We'll still help you. Just send us a message. Tell us, hey, what your name is, what you're needing help with. We'll still get your resources. You don't have to participate in our chaos to get help. So make sure that you know that. If you need anything, you can reach out and we'll absolutely help you. I just got a call from Caesar. He's going to be a little late. His power went off. I'm like, okay, that sucks. So
That's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. All right. So
we almost lost or had the abort the last week because of a power surge. So we feel your pain, man.
Oh, well, hey, I tell you what, man, you know, well, you know, let's just go ahead and play that beautiful beam footage.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
Nope.
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
You can see him after the game. No, but I can't. Just explain the situation, please. Who is the doctor? I'm gonna shit on the I can't give much time.
Is that for medical reason? Or?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Do we know anything about that?
No, he has some stomach problems.
I have diarrhea. You speak French? J'ai la chiasse et j'ai envie d'aller aux toilettes. Je peux plus bouger, je vais chier sur le plat.
It could be a medical time now, Darren. Sorry, I don't know anything.
Well, you can sit here for now. Yes, if it's urgent, he can do that. Good. Yeah. Touch enough, man. Touches are done.
Man, he literally left in the middle of the match because he had diarrhea.
Yeah, man, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
And you know, you ain't lying. That's the reason why I'm bringing this up. If you, first of all, everybody that's watching, Joy, thank you so much. Good morning. Such a beautiful soul. I've got your package. I'm getting ready to send it. Okay. Tracer, thank you so much for checking in and for watching. And you know, for my other battling baddies, thank you for coming in on the TikTok and watching as well. All right, now back to this business. All right, how many times have you played sports and like you had to go to the bathroom? You know, the worst thing is being a kicker, because this has happened to me before. Being a kicker, the worst thing was Friday night. I remember as it was yesterday. Because, like, I had to go. Well, you can't go. Yeah, dude, I crapped myself right before I kicked a field goal. And, like, as soon as I kicked that field goal, instead of watching to see if I made it or not, man, I was off that field going to the bathroom the whole time. When you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah.
You can't do a timeout.
It happens to professional athletes too, bro. Like Paul Pierce left a playoff game in a wheelchair because he had to poop. Lamar Jackson, very famous clip of him running into the locker room during the Monday Night Football game against a division rival late in the season, going back and forth. And everyone, the broadcast team's like, oh my God, is he hurt? Like, this is big for the Ravens. He's back out there, though. Bro just had the poop. He had to go.
Well, the funny thing is we're sitting here talking about this and joking about it, but like those people that go to Times Square, I don't know if you're aware of this, but those people at Times Square, like, there's no porta. I just did no. I tell my interns not to do that. When you go to Times Square for the New Year's Eve party, the I don't know if they changed it, but it used to be Dick Clark's. Okay, I think it's something else. I think it's what's that guy's name on iHeart? I'm trying to think. I think it's his party. But anyways, that's not the point. There's no porta johns around there, so everybody that's in that New Year's Eve thing, they're wearing diapers. Okay, now you're like, why? I ain't gonna do that. Trust me, you're gonna do that. They have cops going everywhere around. You will get kicked out for indecent exposure. So you can't poop in the trash can. You can't pee in the trash can or anything like that. But what you can do and what they do is
you said do.
What they do is they'll tip the can over to tilt it. Okay. Usually there's not a whole bunch of, usually it's packed full of trash, but usually they've got like these cylinder trash cans. You know what I'm talking about? Like the metal ones. Okay. That are really heavy, that they're not like for regular trash. They're higher up. You kind of get what it, anyways, you tilt that up, and while you're like hiding yourself, either urinating in a bottle or getting ready to unleash the diaper to put the new one on, that's how they do it. But they wear a diaper when they're at Times Square, just so everybody knows. Okay, so I don't know, maybe they should issue football players diapers.
I don't think they'll do that, but you got to go during halftime. But sometimes,
talking about some halftime motivation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nature calls when it calls. You don't really get to choose.
Well, yes and no. How many times have you like driven somewhere and you're like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then you get there, and that sensation need to go to the bathroom, like, it's lost until you remember, oh, by the way, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, I think to a certain point, it's kind of like the mind over matter thing. Kind of like when I was in basic training, I remember we had this chuck wagon, this chili chuck wagon, and we was at the range, we had to eat this for lunch. Well, we had just passed basic and we got AIT, and we're thinking to ourselves, well, shit, now we've got the ability to go to the gut truck. That's what we called the truck on those bases. They had like food and water, kind of like when you go to the golf course and you have a golf cart and has liquor and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So we have the gut truck, and like we had just got that. And when you get I don't want to say responsibilities. When you get perks, we'll call it that. When we get perks, like, you take advantage of that. Remember when you wanted to drink, you wasn't 21, like that was a perk if you got a drink. Now that you're 21, it's not much of a perk anymore because now you can do it. Well, so we ate at that gut truck. And evidently, everybody ate at that gut truck, and nobody ate the chili mac. Well, drill sergeants were pissed off that because they took the time, they order it, and when you order something and you get it, and like none of it is taken, like none of it is gone. Yeah, that makes you look bad as a drill sergeant. you know? So what did he do? He made sure that everybody went through that line, and he said everybody has to go through that line, and you have 5 minutes on your dish. Eat it up. I don't care if you have to throw it up, whatever you need to do, eat it up and then throw it away. That you're gonna eat. We sat there, and I tell you what, man, I can honestly attest to this. When you think you're full, you can always eat more. You can always eat more. You'd be surprised how much you can eat. You'd be surprised how much you can eat before you have to throw up. So let me tell you, mind over matter. So we did that. Oh my God, dude! I think I had like 25 dishes of chili mac, and I didn't go to the gut truck after that ever until I get to like my first duty station. But basic, dude, I didn't even touch the gut track. Like I learned real quick. Huh? Now what now?
Said you're done with it.
Oh, dude, I'm so done with it. So done with it. Now,
that sounds rough.
Yeah, it totally was. Now, does anybody in the comments, if you have stories or if you have, life experiences, be sure to share them. I don't know why we don't get more comments, especially since we're like live and stuff. Because like you could like sit here and just like, what is it, like make fun of me or give me a hard time or something like that. I do that all the time to like 9 News and stuff. So far the karma hasn't reached back at me. So, but feel free to comment.
Captivated by your stories, they forget they even can comment.
Charles says he doesn't have any life experiences. Bullshit. Working while on watch. I love that. Thank you, Joy, for that. I really do appreciate it. Today is Charles' birthday. And man, I tell you what, hey, hey, HG, while we're talking, go to the birthday thing, download that so that we can sing happy birthday to Charles Dietz before the show goes off the air. He loves the chicken. Everybody loves the chicken. But yeah, happy birthday, Charles. And I don't know, but you'd be surprised what you can do when you put your mind to it. And I'm going to leave you with this before we go to the drop the mic. Because I don't think our interview is going to be here today. I just don't have a feeling. Well, we'll play 3 break songs to the top of the hour, but I just don't have a good feeling about it.
Do you want me to spoil it for you, Joel? Oh, there's an email from him. He says yes to reschedule.
Okay.
So
all right.
It ain't happening today.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. Then everybody has to stomach through my Father's Day dialogue that I'm gonna read. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Well, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready to play the drop the mic, and then once we play the drop the mic, then we'll go to our music break, and we'll catch everything at the top of the hour. But when I play this when I play this one clip that we was gonna do kind of like for drop the mic, I want you guys comments on these videos when I play these. Okay. Now in our interview of the week or drop the mic that we do the rest of the second hour, I'll be talking about that. There's no video about that. I'll be talking about that. But let's go ahead and hit drop the mic, and keep in mind, what would you do if you was in that situation? Go ahead and play that beautiful bean footage.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out. Hey, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, really beautiful, and I'd love to take you to dinner sometime.
No, thanks.
Okay.
That's it? You're not gonna try to convince me?
But you said no.
Yeah, but no can mean yes.
If I want to play games, I got a Nintendo at home, so you're good. Thank you. Have a great day.
But I love Nintendo.
I saw that clip. I just had to play it, man. I think that was hilarious. It reminds me of those TikToks where like a girl's walking and the guy's trying to give her a billfold. And she's like, I got a boyfriend. I got a boyfriend. And with this, drop the mic, just something to keep in mind because I've dealt with life experiences. And, I did talk to somebody this week and it was funny, and I want to share with you. They told me, well, why would I listen to your show or any other veteran show when you're good, man? They told me, well, why would I listen to your show or listen to any other veteran show when I don't respect their opinion? And I'm like, well, every time we have a new veteran or an intern that comes to the radio station, and trust me, I don't know everything, but every time we do have a person come to the station, I always tell them that when you do your show, you can do two things. Number one is you can entertain them. And when entertain them means is, you give them resources, you give them information, you tell them stories or struggles about what's going on in their life. Or you can like disregard any like segments or anything, and you can just sit there and you can talk about yourself or what you've done or anything like that. There's two ways of doing a show. But the reason why I like telling my life experiences is because, everybody knows that I have a traumatic brain injury. For my traumatic brain injury, one thing that I've learned is every single day, I learned something. I learned to use my heart. I learned to use my eyes, and I learned to use my ears. And there's actually there's quotes and stuff out there that I love doing quotes. I really do, because quotes, like when you're going through something and you read these quotes, it speaks to you. Kind of like the whole saying that, if you're happy, you enjoy the music. But if you're sad, then you understand the lyrics. Kind of the same thing, same aspect, and I really love doing quotes in life and then finding Bible verses because it just reconfirms. It reconfirms, what's going on in my life, what I'm learning and stuff like that. And I share that with everybody, kind of like a journal. I don't think a whole lot of people respect my opinion, and that's okay. But I think a lot of people respect my learning process of me learning and then talking about it, So that's the reason why I bring that up. And with this, sometimes when we talk to people, we're at a 90%, 80% like defensive mode. Like we're not really listening to them. Like we're waiting for them to get done talking so that we can sit there and defend ourselves.
That's the big problem is so many people, they're not listening. They're just waiting for the
right. And honestly, I mean, I have that.
I catch myself doing it too.
Yeah, I have that issue too.
I'm trying to be more conscious about it.
Right, and what I'm trying to do is like whenever I come up to that moment, I try to like sit on the email for at least 2 days or that message for 2 days. So instead of like getting all upset and blah blah blah, but it's funny because this week I talked to my daughter and my daughter's just like you, HG. She hates AI. She hates it with a passion. And she told me this shit really bothered her. And I'm like, well, and HG, you know this as well as I do. Before AI, I was typing something, talk to text, I was typing something, and then I would send it. And I remember Jimmy Covers, he's like, what the hell is this? Is he drunk? And then you came in like, no, you have to decode it. So like when I talk,
it's like a
right when you talk, when I
decipher ancient text.
Yeah, I mean it was really bad, people. I mean, it was really bad. Like So what I have to do is, and the reason why I have to do talk text is because of my vision. I can't see the buttons on the phone very much anymore. So I do talk to text, and then I put it in the chat GPT, and then it polishes it up so that people can understand it. I use it kind of medical assistant. Sometimes I use it for other things.
That's what AI should be for, but there's practical applications like that where it's really good. I don't like that the data centers are pouring out tons of pollution, polluting drinking water, like that stuff for small towns, or that.
No, that makes sense. And I think sometimes
people are just stealing. It's like just bypassing copyright laws to like steal, art, music to generate.
Well, remember, there's a lot of with everything.
Yeah.
With everything, even with Snicker bars, there's a lot of good about it. There's a lot of bad too, but that's with everything and anything. And that's why, I think it's just like when I was in the military, if you dissected somebody's like life or their day or whatever, like you're going to find something that they're doing wrong. You're going to find something like somebody over your shoulders. I swear to God, you do more things wrong when somebody's over your shoulders compared to when they're not over your shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's that pressure. It
does. People just don't realize that.
Like mix it. Like now, all of a sudden, you're like, instead of just doing something with routine, you're thinking about it.
Right. But yeah, as we go to our music break, and we're gonna go to music break, and then we're gonna do the thing top of the hour.
I also got the Charles's birthday video. We can
you know what? Let's do Charles' birthday thing first, and then. HG has met Charles before several times, and we're just going to give him a little pep rally. That's what we're going to do. So, yeah, play a beautiful beam footage.
There you go. Happy birthday, Charles.
On behalf of MBR Free, happy birthday, Battle Buddy. Woo! Cheers to you, brother. Strong, sharp, and unforgettable. Have it?
So, one brief moment that touches me. He already knows this, but the best memory that I have with Charles is when I first met him, and he was doing something heartwarming for MBR, and he got these earphones. He got the sale for these green earphones. Like they're cheap, but he bought so many, so veterans could use it in the studio and stuff. And he didn't think about the green part of it, how it like dissipates and stuff, and the the green screen stuff. Which it doesn't really that bad, I'm having them on right now, and you can't really tell, you know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing, it's just funny that sometimes you get stuff and you don't think of other things when you get it. That's with everything. And he got those for me, and then I decided to start creating Beaker, the duck, and that's one of the reasons why his headset is green. It's because it goes along with the story that, just because somebody buys you something and it doesn't exactly work, for the perfection thing, it still works. It still works. And it's another form of resilience. And now he shows up. Get the guy in here.
Look who
Get the guy in here. We're gonna yell at him, Caesar. Showing up late.
You can't see it, but I'm tapping my wrist.
Oh, your mic is not working, and you've got music playing.
Yep. Hold on, we can't hear you.
We can't even hear you, man.
You hear me now? You gotta turn the music.
You gotta turn the music off.
I'm singing all night long.
Good song.
Oh, better?
Yeah, they're gonna meet our stuff for that.
Yeah, we're getting copyrighted.
Problems this morning. I lost power, and then
I know. Holy mackerel! But that's okay, man. That's okay. When I do my Father Day, so we're not gonna do the interview of the week before we go on break because we have a little bit of time. You know, I wanted you to talk a little bit about what your first show is going to be because it's coming up pretty soon.
It is coming up pretty soon, and if I had an idea what the hell is going on with my show, I would tell you. But no, in all seriousness, it's coming back up. I did take a quite a bit of a hiatus, right? There was some personal stuff I had to take care of, and sometimes we get our focus changes in different ways. So I think I'm going to refocus back on veteran organizations that I've been tracking. I've been being part of, being introduced to other people through those organizations, and just bringing back a variety of things as well. So I'm dabbing into bringing other artists, like people that know in the industry, in the music industry, doing interviews like that because I did it before. So I'm gonna be doing kind of that thing here coming up soon. So it's gonna be good.
Well, we're excited. I mean, really, I am excited because not only are you coming back, but like, dude, we've got 8 shows coming just this week and 6 more shows on the way. We have a total of 15 shows coming to the network in the next 2 weeks. I've been really busy teaching. Like I'm sure Tracy's like, well, gosh, he's really quiet. He must be bad. I know I'm not quiet. I'm busy. Yesterday I was supposed to meet her, and like after I got done with all the lessons, I went to take a nap and do like
nap.
Oh my, yeah, nap. my naps aren't anymore like 3 hours, 4 hours. They're beginning to be like 6 hours.
Old man naps. You're taking old man naps.
Oh my gosh, man, I'm getting so like.
Yeah.
So
somebody feed this man some hot milk and some cookies. he's getting ready to go. He's like, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I definitely want to apologize to you first, and to the audience that I'm late. Like I said, I lost power, and it has been a disaster this morning. So much so that I haven't even had coffee. And it's already like almost 10 o'clock at my time, and right. I'm already, I'm like the only thing that I did manage to take. The only thing I did manage to take was a medicine this morning, so we're gonna be all right. So whoa, it's not that's not that kind of a show here. That's not that kind of a show here.
Hey, before we go on break, I wanted to say, hey, to OG from Turnbuckles and Stogies, that whole team. Look at what they got me.
He's got to show that duck shirt off.
Oh,
Look
dang.
at that. Oh.
Look at that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing of beauty.
Oh, hold on. We've got
wait, there's more. But wait, there's more.
We got the combat patch, and we got the unit patch.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing that can make it better is if it was red. But OJ, thanks for the shirt. We might think about making these uniforms for everybody to wear. Because if I hear one more time somebody yells at me and says, "Hey, man, when did you start a bowling team?" Guys, it's not a bowling shirt. It's a mechanic shirt, but still,
The only thing that's missing on that is the American flag that should be in the back above the name in the middle of the shirt.
We can totally do that too. We can totally do that.
No, totally. It needs to happen.
Okay, all right.
That is a must. I mean, look at your logo. Your logo has the American flag. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. I'll talk to my guy. We're straight. Yeah, we'll have to work on that. But hey, we're going to go on a music break, and when we come back off of that music break, instead of us doing interview of the week, I'm going to read my story. I'm going to read my dialogue about the Father's Day, and like you'd be a perfect person because Caesar, you have a child.
I do.
You know.
Damn, nobody told me.
You remind me every day. You're not my daddy.
Yeah, you're not my real dad. Don't tell me
All
what
right,
to do.
everybody. We're gonna go on a music break, and when we come off of that music break, we're gonna hit into Father's Day, the dialogue that I want everybody to think about this weekend. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to us on the station for veterans, Voices, MBR.
Yeah.
I used to sleep with my boots by the door in case the call came through. I learned how to run toward fire for people I never knew. I didn't ask who deserved it, I didn't stop to choose. I just raised my hand, said send me, and did what soldiers do. Now I wake up to different battles, paperwork, bills, and pain. Doctors' rooms instead of foxholes, still here in the rain. They say thank you for your service, like that settles the debt. But somehow every month that passes, you take a little more yet. I kept my promise when it mattered, I wish you would too. Don't take from the wounded, we already paid our due. I left pieces of myself over there trying to come back to you. I didn't come home, but I came home true. So don't take from the wounded when we already bled for you. There's a man with his medals in a shoebox tucked under his bed. 3 years of war in his bloodstream, still ringing in his head. They told him you're retired now, like the war just shuts the door. But the pain didn't get that memo, it still shows up every morning at 4. $200 and some change, that's what they say he's worth. For nights he can't remember, and days that still hurt. Try explaining that number to his kids at the table. Try telling them freedom's expensive, but fairness isn't available. You see a budget line, I see a lie. Don't take from the wounded, we already paid our due. You count the years, not the scars, but the scars remember you. We didn't break the promise, we followed it through. So don't take from the wounded when we already bled for you. There was a family watching hospital lights flicker through the night. A war came home in his lungs and blood from things we couldn't see or fight. They said you have to step away now before 20 years were done. Cancer doesn't wait for calendars, it just takes what it wants. They did the math on the kitchen table, nothing added up. How do you serve till it kills you and still not be enough? They made the law after the sacrifice so we wouldn't forget his name. But every time it gets blocked again, it feels like losing him again. Don't take from the wounded, we already paid our due. We do it again for this country. That part of us is still true. But don't look us in the eye and say this is all you can do. Don't take from the wounded when we already shed blood for you.
Land of the free, caught from the brave,
built on the bones of the dreams they gave. Not from your tweets or your keyboard cries, but from soldiers' blood under open skies. You wave your signs, say we owe you more, while heroes come home through a cold back door. You scream at the past, call it all a lie, but that flag still flies where the fallen lie. It ain't just thread, it's a soldier's shroud, a mother's tears, a father's proud. You burn it down, think you're breaking chains, but you're spitting on graves where freedom remains. If you got the right to burn my flag, I got the right to whoop your ass. You torch the stars, you stomp the stripes, but we bled for that through endless fights. If you hate this land, then walk away. I'll hold the door, I'll pave the way. You're free to speak, but don't you forget that flag's still standing. Soak blood and sweat. You lock your doors, but preach no borders here, while vets sleep rough with their ghosts and fear. You kneel in the spotlight, you ride for peace, but your words smell like smoke and your hands are grease. This land's not stolen, it's paid with pain by calloused hands in the sun and rain. You wanna erase what the brave ones built, that freedom stitched with their blood and guilt. It ain't just cloth, it's a warrior's cause, a final salute to the lives we lost. You call it hate, but it's love we defend for the ones who fought till the bitter end. If you got the right to burn my flag, I got the right to whoop your ass. You spit on the ground where our heroes sleep, while their angels watch and their mothers weep. If you don't salute, then find your road. I'll pack your bags, I'll lighten your load. You're free to hate, but don't you forget that flag's still waving. It ain't done yet. This ain't about red, blue, or lines in the sand. It's about the millions who reached out their hands from fields of fire to factory floors. They built this dream through 1,000 walls. You can scream your truth, you can take your stand, but don't you dare curse the working man's land. That flag's their heart, their fight, their creed, and we'll stand tall for the ones who bleed. If you got the right to burn my flag, I got the right to whoop that ass. You torch the stars, you tear the seams, but you can't burn down the American dream. If you don't love it, then find your way. We'll keep the flame for another day. Your freedom to hate came at a cost, paid by the brave who carried that cross. So raise your voice, but choose it wise, 'cause we'll fight forever neath those starry skies. This is for the fallen who never came home, for the vets in the shadows who carry the stone, for the hands that built this, the hearts that broke, for the flag that flies through the fire and smoke. God bless the brave, God bless the fight, God bless the stars that still burn bright, and God help the fool who forgets what it means to stand for the truth of the red, white, and free. rusted paint was peeling. Same old halls, but different names. The teachers who taught me who I was, all packed up, retired, gone away. I left with dreams and folded letters, boots on, heart full of plans. I came back older, holding silence, trying to be that kid again. They said welcome home like it was easy, like home hadn't learned to change. Every road I tried to walk down felt rearranged. Time passed, but I stayed standing and would and moved my name. Everybody learned how to move on. I learned how to wait. Time passed, but I stayed. Same heart, different scars. I didn't leave, I just came back to find out how far. Pulled up slow to that old trailer, gravel cracking under my tires. I knocked once, then twice, then everything went quiet in my chest like fire. No lights on, no note in the window, no number I could call or chase. Just an empty place where my daughter was, and the sound of my breath in that space. They say it wasn't mine to carry, say I had no part in the pain. But try telling that to a father who came home too late. Time passed, but I stayed right there in the driveway. Everybody says it wasn't your fault, but that don't make it fade. Time passed, but I stayed, counting cracks in the dark. I didn't leave, I just came back, and she was already gone. If love could freeze a moment, I'd still be standing there, keys in my hand, saying her name to an empty prayer. They say time heals all the damage, but it don't heal the man who came back looking for his child with nothing but his plans. Time passed, but I stayed, still breathing through the pain. The world kept spinning without me. I stayed the same. Time passed, but I stayed. I don't ask for grace, I just live with the picture of that empty place.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by WorkSimple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.we.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You're here on May 29th, Red Friday. I'm not wearing red, but there's a reason why I'm not wearing red. I just forgot to put the shirt back on. But you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Train Show right here on station for veterans, by veterans, for veterans, MBR. All right, so you know what? It's a drop the mic. We'll just cut it off at that clip. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my drop the mic.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out. Hey, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Father's Day is coming, and I've been reflecting on what it means to be a father, not just biologically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And you know, it's a good thing that you're here, Caesar, because after I give my dialogue or whatever, you know, you can share your opinion. Because maybe just maybe I need to see somebody else's point of view. And I think in life, a lot of times, we might think something is right and somebody else kind of points out another point of view. Because no matter what, in every subject that I've learned so far in my existence, that there's not always a right answer. There's not always a right answer. And sometimes when you bring that up to somebody so that they see a point of view, you learn. And it all has to do with how you was brought up. It all has to do with how you was brought up. But what I wanted to talk about was, I've never had a biological child. I poured that love into veterans, mentoring nieces and nephews, my friends, their nieces and nephews. Before Iraq, I had a chance to help raise a child. Deployment changed a lot of relationships. Explains why becoming a father figure later in life means so much to me. The difference between a father and a sperm donor, how my daughter would call it, is being a father is showing up. Phone calls, birthdays, difficult conversations, being present when nobody is watching. What I've learned in this last 2 weeks is distance. It doesn't create space, but silence does. Talk about misunderstandings, family issues, friendships, how assumptions damage relationships. Father's Day challenge. Call your kids. Call your dad. Call someone you've drifted from. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Because, being a father isn't about DNA. It's about presence. It's about consistency. It's about showing up. So this Father's Day, if you're going to be a father, be a father. And if somebody else is stepping up to love and support that child, don't stand in the way of that love. And remember, Father's Day is June 21st. But, I can only describe to you what it is like, going through life, not being able to have that. I call it a privilege. I call it a privilege. But the thing is like one thing I've noticed in my life, and I've noticed just in life in general, because I've heard Tom Brady talk about. They had an interview with Tom Brady one time, and they asked him, which Super Bowl was your favorite and which one hurt you the most? And he's like, every Super Bowl that I lost hurts me the most. And they're like, well, how can you say that? Because you've got like 8 Super Bowl rings.
7
Super Bowl rings. He was like, because it's all about closure. It's all about closure. When you initiate something or when it's your choice to do something, you've made your mind up. The other person, they have to follow suit. Even if they don't agree with it, they have to follow suit. And sometimes when that person has to follow suit, they never get that closure. They never get that closure of, what could I have done different? How could I fix this? That's the reason why when people ask me about the whole marriage thing, hey, look, if it didn't work out the first time, it probably isn't going to work out the second time. But that's just my opinion. But, it has happened. I've seen it work. It does happen.
Third time's the charm, though.
But, I recently I've came into my personal bubble, and like I even told my daughter that, when it comes down to it, like, I want a relationship with my daughter. The granddaughter is just like the cherry on top. Without my daughter, I don't want that connection with my granddaughter if I can't have my daughter, and it was good. We had like a 4-hour conversation. We yelled at each other a little bit, and sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes sometimes sooner or later, as a person, you everybody does it. You collect receipts.
Wait, you have receipts on people?
I do. I got receipts on people. Things that like irritate me.
The receipts he has on you.
Dude, I'm sure you already did a CIA background. I mean, it's fine. I mean,
but
I'm clear.
But sooner or later, you have to get that stuff off your chest. And it's not a 2-week streak; it's a 1-week streak. And the thing that caught me, and she's like, "Well, I thought you was going to be here," and I'm like, assuming, and like recently, everybody has chaotic stuff in their family, and I had chaotic stuff in my family, and because of a miscommunication, misunderstanding, there was a former friend of mine, and and cousins that I hadn't spoke to since like 2012, 2011, and I finally buried the hatchet and spoke to him, because when it comes to family, you need to blow off the pettiness, because like nieces, nephews, cousins, the other younger generation, they're watching how we craft ourselves with people, or how we craft ourselves in life. They watch that stuff. If we bully other adults, well, then our kids are probably going to bully other kids, because that's what they learned. And we have to be mature about it and say, okay, well, you know what? Maybe it's not everybody else. Maybe I have some toxic attributes, some characteristics that I need to work on, that I need to fix. Not for you, because your life is already past, but for your kids to see, to watch, because they want to be like you. And I tell you, before I left for Iraq, I had the opportunity to care for somebody. And like the biggest thing that really melted my heart this week is I let her drive my vehicle. And seeing this baby that I cared for a year, and seeing her being, even the grandchild now, she's walking. I got to see that. I got to see her walking. I got to see my daughter drive my car. To me, that's incredible. To me, that's incredible. And I might be making a big deal out of nothing, but to see to have a little one like raise their arms, so that you can get them out of the car seat, kind of like a formality thing, but they're still doing it. Or, grabbing your hand at the crosswalk, because they know that they're supposed to grab your hand. Moments like that it just melt my heart. And, I get it. There are some fathers out there that, that part of their life, they wasn't expected that hand dealt. I totally get that. But the way you treat them is the way they're going to reflect on their children, or they're going to look at father figures in life. So, if you're sitting there, and I'm just going to call you out, and you know that you have a child and you're not spending time with them and a presence in their life, and you're sitting here yelling about politics, guess what? You're part of the problem. Because you're yelling at these politics guys for how they're shaping the world. Well, you're shaping the world emotionally by not spending the time with your kid, or trying to spend time with your kid. You don't have to spend money. The kid doesn't have to spend money, but at least go eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and go to the playground and swing with them, and sit there and talk to them. Find out what makes them tick. Find out what they enjoy. Find out what color is their favorite. It's not about responsibility. It's more like, you're shaping the way they think. You're shaping the way they feel. And do you really want to be that person that someone's like, oh, I don't want to be a father because this person showed me what a father's like? I mean, that's terrible. So this, I mean, I'll shut up here pretty soon, but you know, I gotta spend a year taking care of that baby, and because of, you know, I mean, social media is a lot different now than it was back then. And like
Yeah,
I
no
lost
longer MySpace. Yeah.
I lost contact with him and finally got contact with him, and like, you know, it's been ups and downs. It's been hard. It has been. It's been very hard, but it's been very rewarding as well. Just by the way they look at you, by, you know, you can constantly like talk to them if you're having like a problem or issue, and then when you talk to them, you kind of you kind of you kind of get them to think of what they would do or what they would say, and then they learn by kind of like teaching you, you know, just like I learn every Tuesday and Thursday something, because I work with some veterans on their show. They have questions about something, and then I sit there, and then not only do I answer their questions, but sometimes I learn something too, you know. And I love helping veterans create shows out of scratch. You know that as well as I do, Caesar. I love that stuff, you know.
Oh, I know.
And you learn whenever whenever you make a mistake, or whenever somebody calls you out on something, you know, you learn. But look, hey, if you're gonna call somebody out individually, you know, message them, because that's when you're trying to help. When you're trying to call somebody out in public, you're just looking for attention. I don't care who you are. And that's just my opinion. And you know, there's probably a lot of people that say, "Well, you know, I don't care about your opinion. You know, you can keep your opinions to yourself." And I'm like, "Well, it's my show, so I can state that." But you know, this Father's Day, you know, if somebody is trying to take care of that person that you don't want to be in their life, let them. Don't just jump in because you feel jealous or because you know, feel out of place. Let them, because you want that human being to grow up and see what a real father does. I don't know. What do you think, Caesar? And then, you know, we'll get ready to go to tribute to the troop. But I mean, you know, I just wanted to tell everybody, you know, kind of my experience and my thoughts.
Let's point out that some poser that looks like me said A-Train is a learner, so that's kind of cool that you learn every day. And you're right, we do have something to learn about. But I'm gonna share something with you that I don't share very often, and it's just between you and I and this mic and everybody else that's listening. I have a hard time with Father's Day. So obviously I'm divorced. I remarried, and I have 2 children with my ex-wife that I have not seen and or heard from in quite a long time.
Okay.
I don't get any happy birthday messages. I don't get any happy Father's Day messages from them. I don't get anything at all. It was a pretty brutal divorce, and the ones that ended up, you know, losing is them and me. And I'm gonna leave it at the fact that, you know, hopefully that one day they'll be able to realize, you know, that it wasn't my intention to hurt them, and that it, you know, whatever is being said about me is incorrect, and it's not the way. So that's why I have a hard time with it. The other part of it is, you know, I like I said, I'm remarried now, and I have an 8-year-old daughter, which is completely different. I have my other 2 are boys, and this one is a daughter, and is it's a different dynamic in the relationship that I have with her. Like last night, we went to a concert. We went to see Eve 6. I actually got to meet them as well. Pretty cool. They actually got signed her. She had a fan with her. They signed it for her, and so we took a picture with them and everything. And during the show, well, one of their songs, like, we were in lawn chairs. Obviously, it was like a free concert, and we're in the lawn chairs, and these lawn chairs are like these, for bigger people, or like nice and comfy and everything.
Right.
She all of a sudden she gets up and she's like, "Hey, Dad, like I want to, I want to sit next to you," and she like sat with me, and like she was a baby, and I'm like, man, like she's 8 now, and she's going into 3rd grade, and I'm like, man, how blessed am I, the fact that I got a second chance to show something different, right? Like something completely different out of me. The one big difference between my relationship with her and my relationship with my boys is that with my boys, I got to experience everything from walking, the first steps, the being born, all that stuff. With my daughter, I was gone for almost half of her life before I actually settled down, because I was always deployed. I was a contractor. I was deployed all the time and everything, so I missed a lot of those milestones. Yes, I was there when she was born, but then after that, like first steps, things like that, I was gone. So it's a different dynamic, and I have to remember that she is not she is not a boy. Sometimes my wife reminds me of that. She's like, "Hey, don't talk to her like that. She's very sensitive. She's a girl." I'm like, "Oh my god, okay, you're right." I'm like, I'm just conditioned to doing that. But I want to go back to something you said in regards to letting go of these little tiffs or piffs, peeves or whatever that it is. I have to disagree with you in that, because you don't know what the situation could have been or is in that dynamic, right? Do I agree with you? Yes, I do agree with you. Some of the stuff that people fight about is dumb. However, there's other situations that are inequivocally, they're not able to fix, and or there's too much hurt, too much damage for them to actually go back and actually mend that relationship, right? So there's two sides of that coin.
Too many receipts.
Exactly. Like
too many receipts.
They just cannot go back and find themselves or allow themselves to be hurt in that sense, right? So they much rather not go through the pain again, because what if they give them that one chance again and then they turn around and do it again? So it's more of a protective defensive mechanism that we do, right? And I mean, I encourage everyone to seek professional help in therapists, and to talk those feelings out, because that's what I ended up having to do, right? When I left, that was the other thing I forgot to mention, is that with my boys, I didn't suffer from PTSD. I was not deployed. I had not deployed. And then when I came back, everything changed, right? For me, like you said, everything changed. And now I find myself, with living with PTSD, and with my daughter is completely different. She sees a completely different side of me when I have episodes, right? Or I'm just not in the right frame of mind, and I'm fight or flight, and I'm always, fighting rather than, being cognizant of what I'm saying or what I'm doing, is that I'm in that moment, right? So I have to be very careful when it comes down to that. And she sees a different side of me. She's a lot of times she says like, "Why is Dad always so mad?" Like, I'm not. I don't find myself. I don't see myself being mad. I'm just being me and dealing with whatever I have going on that day. That I'm not focusing on everything else. It's just that one problem at that point in time, right? That I'm like, well, what pissed me off? I'm like, okay, I'm hanging on to that anger of that moment, rather than being outside of it, and not allowing that moment to hinder everything else that's going on. So again, it's different for me because having a relationship with my daughter, with PTSD, it's way too much work. It is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I mean,
and that makes sense. But like you want to tell me your point of view. But like, if you saw somebody coming in the picture that was taking care of them, helping them, all that stuff, like, you wouldn't try to interject in that and stop that, would you, though?
No, I mean, my ex-wife remarried, and they've been together for a while now, and my boys, obviously, from what I understand, they look up to that to her husband. Obviously, he took him in, right? He took over for what I'm not there.
Right, and you don't interrupt because
Well, I don't interrupt because even I have a court order saying that I'm supposed to have we have this app that we're supposed to communicate through, right? I don't directly communicate with her. I directly communicate with her through that app, and and she doesn't answer my responses or whatever. But when she needs something, obviously she'll blow it up out of proportion, where I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, I ask you for something, and then it's a one-way street, and I'll tell you why. And sorry, I'm going on a tangent now. So,
No, you're good. You're good.
So during our divorce, there was the stipulation. It's on the decree that we're supposed to have communication through this app. It's called anyway. It's something that we use, right? And then if there's anything that they're being taken out of the country, like through vacation, she's supposed to provide me an itinerary. I'm supposed to do the same. If they come, basically breaking down everything. Like, I've never received anything like that from her, but yet when I have the kids, or when I had the kids, I was supposed to provide like a minute by minute itinerary of where it is. I'm like, how is that fair? Like, you don't do that to me. Like, how is that supposed to, you're taking away from my time? She's like, well, they're just concerned about what you're doing. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm taking them out to do things, this and that. Like, why are you buttling in or meddling into what I'm doing with my time with my kids? You don't do that. So again, it's a very skewed situation for me on Father's Day, because it's a bittersweet type of thing, right? Do I like it? I hate it. I much rather not even celebrate. I mean, I don't need any for them to tell me, my daughter to tell me, hey dad, I love you, or hey dad, can we do this? I'm like, sure, we'll do all that. I don't need a day for them for her to tell me that, right? And it I don't know, it just brings me to another point where, we celebrate Mother's Day, right? We take them out to eat. Let's go out to eat, make sure that we have a reservation, to go to this buffet or whatever. But yeah, on Father's Day, like, hey, what are you gonna grill? What are you gonna cook? Like, why can't you take me out?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean,
I think it's just on how different like generations was raised up. Perfect example. Okay, a funeral. Me and you growing up, we've always known it as a funeral. Well, now, since it's 2000, now people, it's not a funeral. It's a celebration of life, and they do it kind of the same, but kind of different, but they name it everything. They keep changing the names of all these things. It's the same thing, but it's all how you was raised. Some people are raised to call grandpa. Others are raised to call them Poppy. Why they have different names, I have no idea. But after what you just told me, I can only think that maybe those different names are kind of like code names, so that, when you go to one grandpa on one side of the family, you're not calling grandpa on the other side of the family. You're calling him, Papa or Anchor or something like that. These are things that I'm learning because I never got to experience that. And like I said, when I'm shooting off my opinions in here and stuff, I'm still learning. Like, I don't see other aspects of life yet in this role. All these different objection views. The only thing that I see right now is what I'm living through, and I think it helps to look at all these other views so that you realize, this isn't like the normal, this is something else that can happen. But most importantly, it's, my thing is, if you're gonna be a father, you be a father. If you're not gonna be a father and somebody's willing to step in that position, it should back off.
Well, let's take it back though. Then there's two trains of thought there, I think.
Okay.
A father is perhaps from in my point of view, is a sperm donor. A dad is the one that steps up and takes over the kid, right? Takes over their life and is involved in their life as a dad. right? I think there's a big difference, right? Yeah, he could be my biological father, but he's not really involved in my life, or he's just they're involved in my life. He goes because he gives my mom, a monthly check.
Right.
You just call him, hey, we're supposed to do this. Like I don't have that, right? I'm just basically just right now. I'm just an ATM at this point. But I think a dad is someone that's involved 100% of the time. It doesn't matter if you're a stepdad, because I also have step kids, and we're going through that now. And our oldest is 26, and so we're going through a lot of stuff with him at the moment. And so I've been in his life since he was 18.
Right.
And now like 17, and now we're seeing certain things that we needed to nip in the bud back then. And but I've been involved in his life for the last 8 years, and that's what he never had a actual father or a dad or a figure other than his grandpa. And the fact that like I said, having to step up, that's the dad, regardless of if you are the donor or not. If you step up and do certain things, that's a dad. And I think that's what you're referring to more of anything, that you're her dad rather than her father.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference.
I do see what you're saying, and sometimes sometimes I don't explain it well enough. So it's a good thing that you like said something, and you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm like sitting here thinking, I had this whole thing planned out to talk about, being in this role, like the story and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not in my like little scripting thing. And I think the reason why it's not in my little script is because it didn't let me read out the whole thing.
Are you like Anchorman right now?
Yes, so kind of like, hey, I'm getting them ready for your show. What can I say?
Yeah.
Well, this is the poem that I was going to kind of write. Father Day has me thinking about something. Not every father is connected by DNA. Some fathers are connected by choice. I was never blessed with a biological child. Everybody knows that, but life has taught me that being a father isn't biology. It's about showing up. I think this is the same stupid thing that. Yeah, don't even listen to me about that. But I thought it was important to read this Father's Day because I see a huge difference in my daughter since I came into her life. Even though we've had like communication and like issues and stuff, like.
But that's just human nature, though. Communication is just human nature.
Yeah, well, I mean, her confidence level, dude, like from when we connected, she was like, kind of shy and stuff, and now, like, I mean, she's doing stuff on her own. I sent her like a list of, hey, this is how you do this, and like she's getting the stuff started. I mean, she's like been on top of it, and she has had nothing but like obstacles get in her way, and she's killed it since I've seen her. It's just a different person that I met compared to now. It might have been she's just like warming up to me, and I see it, or it might be the kind of like the honeymoon stage where everything's hunky-dory, and then you get the blast of of stuff. I don't know. I just know that I appreciate your point of view, and you led me, you reminded me some stuff. But I just wanted to bring that up for Father's Day, because I think it's really important that maybe everybody, and in your situation, maybe a little bit different on the other side. Maybe they'll listen to this, and you know what? Hey, today I'll step up.
Well,
like you're willing to step up. Yeah. You're in a different scenario. Like you're willing to step up, but you're not given that microphone. There's fathers out there that they're not stepping up, but they want the perks. And hey, you can't join the military and get a VA house unless you get out with an honorable discharge. Okay, you can't have a title and just sit in that throne. You need to do something. So I was just kind of venting, but
no, you're good. But I do have a story.
Okay, yeah, to tell.
So I had a buddy of mine that actually went on a date, and usually when you go on a date, do you have these awkward moments? You have these little small talk or little questions about getting to know that person that you're trying to either we have try to see where's the common ground or middle ground or whatever. So the question she asked him, she said, "Well, do you have any kids?" That's the question that came up, right? I mean, that's a pretty fair question, I think, right? Yeah. So she asked him, she said, "Do you have any kids?" He says, "Yeah, they're all in liquid form."
Well, that's one way to put it, but okay.
Right? And then they go on and they start dating in a while, but he kind of was like, man, he's like, I kind of have an issue right now. I was like, what's up? He's like, I'm trying to get over it. She's a super cool girl. I love her. Not love her, but I love hanging out with her and do this. And he's like, but there's, I just have a little issue with, she's got kind of, messed up teeth. I'm like, okay, well, that's easy fixable, man. I mean, she could probably get braces. So she finally got braces. So, so now all of his kids are behind bars.
Well, hey, God. All right. Is that time before we go tribute to Troop? Is that time for the time to shine?
Sorry, I'm recovering from that joke.
Right?
That's a horrible dad.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, veterans, and first responders. Runs on Dunkin'.
This is your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine.
So, from what I've talked to Caesar, from what he's showed me a point of view. Long story short, because I'm not going to go into everything, but if you have a child out there and that child is happy, you're doing your job. If that child is out there and that child is not happy, do the world a favor and take the first step. I get it. It takes two. I'm running into that with another relationship that I have, a friendship. Trying to get in contact with them. Hey, what's going on, kind of thing. But able to do that, you always have to take the first step. You always have to take the first step, even when you're in the military and you're getting ready to go to the military. The recruiters, they always take you out to eat, especially if you request it. You gotta take that first step, and that's not just being a father. That's anything in life. You can't expect somebody to do something if you're not willing to do something by putting the first forward. So just keep that in mind, and that's my time to shine for today. We're gonna go on our tribute to Troop, and when we come back from the tribute to Troop, we'll be hitting into the final thoughts. We'll be discussing what it is we learned. We'll also be reading off the horoscopes that's in the notes, Caesar, just so you know. And the third thing that we'll be discussing is what's going on June 13th. So whatever you do, stay with us, don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. It's the H Train Show right here on MBR. Tribute to the Troop. Next.
H, can you hit it? The page is frozen.
Okay.
Technical issues. Refresh.
Detail attention.
First call. The service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call. The name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call. The name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to 2nd Lieutenant Billy Bob Walkabout, age 57, of Montville, Connecticut. Billy was born on March 31st, 1949 in Cherokee County, Oklahoma to Warren and Bobby Jean Walkabout. Walkabout grew up with the strength, resilience, and warrior spirit of his Cherokee heritage. At just 18 years old, he stepped forward and joined the Army, a decision that would place him at the center of some of the fiercest fighting in Vietnam. Walkabout, a Cherokee of the Blue Holly Clan, was an Army Ranger with Company F, 58th Infantry, 101st Airborne Division. On November 20th, 1968, after successfully ambushing an enemy squad on a jungle trail, the friendly patrol radioed for immediate helicopter extraction. When the extraction helicopters arrived and the lead man began moving toward the pickup zone, he was seriously wounded by hostile automatic weapons fire. Sergeant Walkabout quickly rose to his feet and delivered steady suppression fire on the attackers while other team members pulled the wounded man back to their ranks. Walkabout then administered first aid to the soldier in preparation for medical evacuation. As the man was being loaded onto the evacuation helicopter, enemy elements again attacked the team. Maneuvering under heavy fire, Walkabout positioned himself where the enemy was concentrating their assault and placed continuous rifle fire on the adversary. A command detonated mine ripped through the friendly team, instantly killing 3 men and wounding all the others. Although stunned and wounded by the blast, Walkabout brushed from man to man, administering first aid, bandaging one soldier's severe chest wound and reviving another soldier by heart massage. He then coordinated gunship and tactical airstrikes on the enemy's positions. When the evacuation helicopters arrived, he worked single-handedly under fire to board his disabled comrades. Only when the casualties had been evacuated and friendly reinforcements had arrived did he allow himself to be extracted. Walkabout spent 6 months in a coma, recovering, and later returned to Vietnam. Walkabout received the Distinguished Service Cross, Purple Heart, 5 Silver Stars, 5 Bronze Stars, among other numerous awards. He was believed to be the most decorated Native American soldier of the Vietnam War. Walkabout's citation for the Distinguished Cross read, "Although stunned and wounded by the blast, Sergeant Walkabout rushed from man to man, administering first aid, bandaging one soldier's severe chest wound, and reviving another soldier by heart massage." When asked about his 23 months in Vietnam, Walkabout said, "War is not hell, it's worse." Walkabout experienced complications related to his exposure to Agent Orange defoliant used during the Vietnam conflict, and he had been on a kidney transplant waiting list and was undergoing dialysis 3 times a week. Walkabout died of pneumonia and renal failure at Norwich Hospital on March 7, 2007. Walkabout is survived by his wife Juanita, 2 sons, 2 daughters, his sister and brother, extended family and friends, and his brothers and sisters in arms. We here at MBR would like to thank you, 2nd Lieutenant Billy Bob Walkabout, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed.
Attention. Ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by Work Simple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.we.
All right, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 29th of May, and today we did a little bit of prep for Father's Day coming up on the 21st. You have a little less than a month to get ready. But before we go into our final thoughts, You know, we've been starting this new thing, and everybody seems to be liking it. We're going to start, and just so you know, Caesar, it's in the notes. I'm going to start with Aries, okay? But just so everybody knows, today's horoscope for Friday, May 29th, 2026. Aries, today favors bold ideas and fresh starts. Stop thinking and trust in your instincts. A conversation you've been avoiding could bring clarity. Lucky color is gold. And then I'll let you get Taurus, and then we'll go from there.
I can get the Taurus too.
Okay,
I
Caesar must be having some sound issues. Go ahead.
So Taurus, your hard work is getting noticed. Financial matters look positive, but don't let work keep you away from family and friends. Collaboration brings success.
All right. And Caesar, we can't hear you. So if you're trying to.
I just don't have the notes.
Okay. All right. I got it. Okay. All right. Gemini, your charm is turned up today. Great day for networking, interviews, meaningful conversations. Someone is finally listening to what you've been trying to say. Go ahead, HG.
Cancer, peace comes from letting go of things you can't control. Relationships improve when you stop carrying the weight of everyone else's problems.
Leo, trust in your instincts. Opportunities are appearing behind the scenes. Stay hopeful and don't let old disappointments stop new possibilities.
Virgo, your efforts are beginning to pay off. Don't isolate yourself today. Support is closer than you think. Share your talents and let others see your work.
And Libra, a social positive day. Your words carry extra influence, making it a great time to mend relationships or strengthen connections.
Scorpio, focus on peaceful interactions. You may feel emotionally drained, but kindness and patience will help you navigate the day successfully.
Sagittarius, slow down before making major decisions. The pace of life is picking up, but carefully planning will bring better results than rushing ahead.
Capricorn, your reputation is strong right now. People see you as dependable and trustworthy. Reconnect with someone you've lost touch with. You may be surprised by the outcome.
Aquarius, a spiritual or uplifting activity could improve your mood. Projects you've been working on or moving in the right direction. Stay open to unexpected opportunities.
All right. And then there's nothing on their Pisces, so we're all done.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me go over here. I don't know why there's nothing under Pisces. Let me scroll down to this. You know, while I'm scrolling down, remember everybody that we could not do this show if it wasn't possible for Work Simple. If you're looking for a some kind of an office space that's really affordable, check out Work Simple, especially if in your neighborhood. You can pay for room to rent, $800 a month, and on top of that, not only do you get the studio for like a no deposit, no contract, which that's a huge convenience, but they have the equipment, they have the furniture. They'll help you. They will work with you. So remember, Workspace today. And for some reason I can't find the I'm looking for it.
Horoscope.com's got the Pisces reading.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Today you'll feel as though your energy has come home. You've had a tendency to hide at home when you aren't feeling 100% yourself, but now you're feeling much better and ready to take on the world. Your emotions are in line with your actions, and that brings great clarity. That's a pop-up ad. Hold on. You know the route you want to take. The path is obvious.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is the final thoughts.
Five, four, three, two, one. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
Recapping what we learned today.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple, to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give.
Check out ML Gratitude. Google them, find out what they've got going on. Shit's Bar and Grill, where they usually do all their poker runs, all their event starts, all that stuff. They have a run going June 13th. In fact, if you go to their Facebook page right now, they have a motorcycle that's kind of blocked out, kind of inked out, fogged out. And all they're asking is for you to guess what kind of bike for your chance to get a special prize on June 13th. Now, keep in mind, ML Gratitude, it is a nonprofit that gives motorcycles away to veterans. So if you are a veteran, or if you know a veteran that, you know what, they've been doing a pretty damn good job at doing things, you just want to, pep them up a little bit. And I encourage you to do that, because when you pep other people up, man, it really peps you up as well. Pep them up, nominate them for a motorcycle. You don't know what it's like to have a wind therapy until you experience it. And everybody that I've talked to that's experienced it, they keep going back to it. And the reason why they keep going back to it, because it works. So nominate you, or nominate a friend or another veteran to get that motorcycle. June 13th, $45 gets you the ride and gets you a shirt. NBR's logo is on that. And I'm told that the duck is on there. I'm not for sure yet, but just so you know, June 13th, Shit's Bar and Grill. Check them out. Also, just a huge shout out to Jersey Mike's and a huge shout out to Dunkin' Donuts. And, HG, Caesar, what did you guys learn today before I give the weekend breath? Give me 30 seconds. Tell me what you guys learned today, and then I'll be closing out with the weekend briefing.
I learned that not every joke is always a good joke. Or that reaction may not be the same reaction you're thinking in your head.
Yeah, I tell you what, dude, I did a TikTok the other day, and I sent it to my friend, and she wasn't too humorous, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. It was funnier in my head. Sometimes you got that moments where something's funny that might just be funny to you. So just keep that in mind. So
everywhere else I've told those two jokes, I've gotten a lot of really funny responses. And then today was just crickets. I was like, man, maybe I should just keep my day job. I mean, this is horrible.
HG, what did you learn today?
Just we had to kind of work on the fly today, so it's just good practice and thinking on your feet and being fluid, being adaptable, because our interview obviously canceled. And Caesar had the power outage, so we
I know we was working with $100 today, wasn't we?
Yeah, but we made it work, and I think we put out a pretty good show regardless.
All right, well, evidently my sound thing isn't working, so you're going to have to cue the mic. But everybody, it is that time, folks. It's time for our weekly safety briefing, military humor included. Remember, don't beat your wife. Oh, and what I learned today is sometimes your view isn't always the right one. It's not always the straight one, but communication, that is the key for everything. Communication.
Somebody in the comments said, Jill, you're pretty. Oh, no, it said you're stinking cute. Sorry, my bad.
Don't beat your wife. Don't beat your dog. Don't beat your cat, because you'll be sleeping in the doghouse. And trust me, the dog's not going to give up his spot. Instead, beat your personal best. Beat that pile of chores. Been dodging. Do a risk assessment. If it ends with you in the couch or in trouble, rethink it. And with Father's Day around the corner, here's a thought. When you think you have no friends, be the friend someone else is waiting for. Connection starts with a single step. So with everybody here at MBR, we want to let everybody know, let's all take that step this weekend. Next week, our interview is going to be the H Train Show with Kelly Edmondson on grief healing and long-term support. So for everybody here at MBR, we want to say we're not here for us. We're here for you. And they all said, giving our veterans a voice. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Military Broadcast Radio on Roku TV. If you missed today's episode, the podcast will be available on
and all major platforms shortly after we go off the air. We're here for you, not for us, giving veterans a voice. This is Military Broadcast Radio.